I follow Chad because I'm going to elaborate on some of his top numbers that he talked about. Chad mentioned there that we were within 30,000 of being our $4.9 million for the first quarter. That is production revenue. That's invoiced out the door. That's all of us, but that's what production did. So we had bookings, which is sales orders coming in, but production revenue 4.9, we did 4.87, was excellent. We tried to figure out, well, what areas did those come from? We have ag, FST, which if you heard Warren in the earlier talk, he talked about starting with the ADT. The FST is the agricultural line trailer that came after ADT. ONA, I know we have some people new in the group and some didn't know that. ONA means off-highway, not agriculture. Okay? So when they started the trailer business, it was 100% or very closely to the ag market. The ag market went south starting in 2016, 2015, 2016. LDJ chose to diversify, get into other markets, industrial and commercial, and that's what we call ONA. So if you hear that terminology, that's what that is. EVs is the economy trailer, similar to an FST, but without a lot of the bells and whistles. And then we have contract, which is pretty much Vermeer, but we do some other work for other people. And then we have other. These are non-trailers, parts, skid loaders, different things that don't fall into these categories. So we talked about sales dollars right at the 4.9 million, but what did we do in units? Well, on the ag FST side, we budgeted 90, we made 98. On the ONA side, we budgeted 73, we produced 72, so right on there. On the EV side, we budgeted 40, we did 52. The contract and the other were a little bit negative for the quarter, but for the full year projection, they're going to get back to budget. So overall, looking at the top line, the blue, we exceeded our expectations from the floor for production in the first quarter. That's a woohoo. I know Chad's probably not as much woohoo as Fred, but I'm kind of in between. So, are there any questions here? When we put the budget together, we asked the bookings, our sales leader, to tell us by category, where are these units going to fall, okay? And then we can talk with purchasing and try to make sure that we have things purchased or get contracts lined up. And then we work with Chad and Amy to get it scheduled. This tells us we're pretty much online with what we expected to do. Now that can have different variety in there, but that helps from several standpoints. I don't know if Chad spoke to backlog, and I don't want to steal everybody's thunder, but the backlog is over $5.5 million. Okay, $5.5 million. Our budget for the year is roughly $21 million on the production revenue line. That means that we have 25% of the year ahead of us. Okay, not but 2 years ago, that was less than 500,000. Just tell you the difference between being in the ONA industrial game versus not. Eggs pretty much stayed the same, as you'll see in Luke's graph, from year to year. We've maintained our position in the market has increased, but the number of trailers has stayed pretty much level. We've just eaten into our competition. What has really helped the company is the diversification into the industrial commercial line. And that's been a big uptick for us. So are there any questions on the unit side? Okay, so down here, once again, orange is budget, blue is actual. People ask, well, did we make money with what we produced out the door? Well, I explain gross margin percent, kind of like a family going out on vacation. You plan to go on vacation, if you take your car, you're going to think of gas, you're going to think of food, motel, park tickets, show tickets, whatever you're going to do. That's your variable cost to have that much fun or that much vacation. Well, to build a trailer, you need steel, other components, and you need direct labor to assemble it. And that's what gross margin is. So this is the production people on the floor and material going into the product. So we budgeted to be at 62.1%, meaning 37.9 cents of every dollar would go down to the margin line and help pay for overhead and all that other. And we actually came in at 38.8. So we're ahead of the budget there. How did we get there? Two different ways. Our labor efficiency, Chad may have talked about it for the quarter. On the dollars side, I believe it's about 4,000 unfavorable, but you were close to 96 plus on getting the product out the door. So that's saying that, you know, when I was in math, 96% is pretty good. That's an A. So we're doing what we're saying we're going to do, but we also know as a leadership team that we're doing it at 50 plus hours, 5 days a week. So how are we going to be able to do the 5.3 that Chad talked about for second quarter? We need resources, and those resources are people. They talk about the different positions. There's a bonus for employee retention that's on through June 10th. Please talk, if you believe that, like we all do, that this is a great place to work and good values, good ethics, we want to talk to those people to see if they're a good fit for LDJ. We're looking between 8 to 10 people. And that's most of those people are out here in the factory. From welders to assemblers, you've seen the open positions. So, yes, we're doing great at the 4.9, but we got to elevate up to 5.3. So yeah, we'll have some efficiencies in our processes that we're all working on, but we also need to have direct labor to help us with those resources. So overall, excellent, everybody. A great first quarter. As Lauren talked about, second quarter is even going to be bigger than that. And with the backlog ahead of us, we'll know what's in front, and we keep adding. When you guys pump out 450 to 500,000, sales is bringing in 450 to 500,000. So we're not depleting that. So we're looking at our stability long term, and we believe that resources, we need to staff up to be able to meet that. Questions?